people will say often, why do you teach classics? And my response is, do you know Mark Zuckerberg? Yes. How about J.K. Rowling? Sure. JFK? Nixon? Yes. Ted Turner? There are so many people in every avenue of society that have degrees in classics, and they have done great things with it. The course I'm teaching this semester is called Ancient Epic Tales. We look at 3 different epics, 2 Greek by Homer, the Odyssey and the Iliad, and then one by a Roman poet from several centuries later, Virgil, and it's the Aeneid.
The Odyssey focused more on intelligence and strategy, like Odysseus is, and like how the Cyclops, it was like, oh, we're gonna hide under the sheep. It was a lot more about having to think around things instead of just hitting it with a stick.
And then Homer himself is writing in a place and time where things are shifting socially, where it's not just brute force, kill everybody, right? It's not just conquer and sort of take the loot. It's about starting to have voices. The younger, the sort of lesser people on the social ladder starting to have a voice. And that, of course, ends up leading to democracy. We're not just engaging in sort of literary analysis and interpretation. We're also looking at how we interpret and why. What are we interested in and why are we interested in that? So there's an opportunity for learning about the self and realizing that the self is invested in the interpretive process.
Even though women are portrayed as like mysterious, like Circe and Calypso, they demanded Odysseus stay with them. Instead of like Odysseus commanding them to like sleep with him or something, yes, like Paris did with Helen.
Students have the opportunity to talk about issues like social hierarchy and power, to talk about gender issues, to look at issues of belonging and identity and the presentation of that.
As for the characters in the Iliad, they're all male, they're all like white, and they're all kind of the same social class.
Yes.
In the Odyssey, it's the complete opposite, and some of them aren't even human, and I think that's cool.
Classics traditionally has asked us to look at these texts to learn about Greece and Rome. I think that's really valuable, but I think the way we're moving now is to say it's meaningful still. So we've had some really cool things happen, like students have understood some sort of ancient male aggressive poetry, where there's clearly a competition between poets going on, to the sort of conflicting production of rap between Tupac and Biggie. The human condition remains pretty much the same. We yearn for community, we yearn for sort of stances politically, culturally, socially. So there's this real continuity, even if it goes from, ancient obscene poetry to, rap. It's great. That's what I kind of want them to take from it. So it's not just some static thing. When you talk about the traveling and all the people, different people he experiences, oh, they're cannibals, oh, they're one-eyed monsters. It's just that it's not Greek. Remember, his big problem with Polyphemus was he doesn't practice Greek customs. They don't have laws, right? They don't practice Xenia. Collective nouns, you have a school of fish, flock of birds. Well, classicists are called a shelf. We're a shelf of classicists, which sounds so boring. And, so what I want to do is say, hey, we're not a shelf of classicists. We're actually pretty cool people with really good ideas that can, springboard you into growing as a human being, or at least someone who knows herself or himself a bit more deeply as a result.